What's up guys, Daniel here, and in this video I'm going to be telling you why I decided not to go to college. So to start off, there I was taking the trash out, sweeping the floors, doing some meaningless tasks, and then the clarity hit me. If you want to keep hearing the story, go ahead and hit the like button down below to make it turn blue so I can tell you the rest. Alright guys, so right now at this very moment I'm 21 years old. I'd be entering my senior year of college right now if I had gone, so I'd be on the back stretch. But that's not the path that I chose. Like a lot of people nowadays, for various reasons, whether it's your interests, financial reasons, or whatever, college may or may not be a good option for you. Just depends on what your goals are with it, what kind of job you want afterwards, all those sorts of things. But for me, going into it, it didn't seem like what I wanted to do personally. So to roll back the clock a few years, when I was 17, 18 years old, junior, senior year of high school, the time when, everybody's asking you, what are you going to do with your life? Where are you going to go to college? What career are you going to go down? All that kind of stuff. I was thinking pretty hard. I was working during that time. I was, doing high school, doing things on the side, like selling fidget spinners in high school, and actually started my own coffee drop shipping business in my senior year. And really doing a lot of deep digging into what I wanted to do with my life, and definitely didn't have it figured out. I have a good kind of path now, but still don't have it all figured out even down to this day. But I can remember, I had gotten into my senior year. I started applying to colleges. My dad is an engineer with an electrical engineering degree from Rolla, and so I thought, okay, maybe I'll go ahead and get an engineering degree, right? The biggest, probably the three reasons. Three main, probably jobs to get a degree for is probably be an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor, something in the medical field. Those are really the three big things that you really like. You just need a degree to get in the door, right? So I figured, my real passion at that point was probably business, and I still hadn't fully I knew my personality, but I really didn't like after the last 3 or 4 years of a lot of study and self-reflection and everything, I've really ironed out exactly what kind of person I am, what my interests are, what activities and stuff I like doing. But at that point I hadn't really like most of us, hadn't really totally honed in on or have a good picture of the kind of person you are at 18 years old, right? So I figured I might become like a mechanical engineer or something like that. And got good grades in school. I think I had like a 3.75 GPA in high school, so not to brag or anything, but just as a statement of fact. So I got into a couple good colleges around here, engineering schools, in KU and Rolla, both good mechanical engineering schools, and was planning on going as up until about my first semester of senior year in high school, and that was kind of my plan. I would go to one of those schools and become an engineer. Really didn't didn't really have a passion for that. Going into it, I kind of knew it was like, do I really want to go to college? Like, this field isn't really something that intrigues me a ton, but it was like, okay, if I'm gonna go to college and do something, it might as well be for something worthwhile that I'm gonna have, be able to get a good job afterwards and stuff like that, right? Guys, if you're liking this story, go ahead and hit the like button until it turns blue down below, and subscribe for more awesome stories like this. Let's keep going. So anyway, at the time, I wasn't really fully sold on the idea of going to engineering school, just due to my own personal interest, and just doing engineering work and projects and things just really didn't sound attractive to me. I was at the time in high school. I was in this program called Northland CAP, which is kind of like a quasi-internship, real world experience type of program for half the day. But basically it turned out I went to the engineering section of it. Turned out it was just kind of like a, business development, things like doing your resume and all sorts of, and touring engineering offices and stuff like that. It really wasn't like a lot of actual, engineering work or anything like that, which kind of definitely influenced my decision. Second semester of high school, senior year, I actually got an internship at a big diesel mechanic type of shop to try to learn some skills. I always had a fascination with engines and cars and mechanics and stuff like that, which also kind of made me inclined to the engineering profession. But it's not like something some things that you're interested in, you wouldn't necessarily want to do or work on, right? So kind of like cars, kind of like engineering, engines, technology, that sort of stuff. So try to, do some work here, learn some things, and, really just wasn't what I was expecting. To talking to the people, they're all really nice guys, but just the life in mechanics and stuff like that. And now granted, engineer is a lot different than being like a mechanic or some kind of, technician wrenching on stuff, of course, but that type of work in general, I just decided it wasn't really something that I wanted to do. And I can remember, there was a moment in time where I just felt like, basically when I went to this internship, like I thought I was gonna, learn some mechanical skills, learn how to rebuild engines, all that good stuff. And I did a little bit, but, for the most part, they had me doing like menial, labor and stuff like that around the shop. And so I really didn't get a lot of, mental like value out of it in terms of learning. And through all that just like menial labor and stuff, I really got a lot of clarity on what I wanted to do. And basically at that moment I decided that I wanted to get into marketing and sales, and get either some kind of commission sales position or get into marketing somewhere. I really wanted to get into commission sales. That was kind of like my goal at that point. After talking to a lot of people, like it's not, very often that you kind of have like a moment of clarity, especially that early. And, it was just kind of like I kind of just knew, I just picked a direction, right? Like I didn't know if it would work out or not, but I was just confident in my own abilities. And I just decided that was the point I was going to go towards, and it didn't really matter the vehicle. I had my dad's business, and the business that I was working for, I actually knew the owner. This is like the internship that I was at was like a, multi-million dollar organization, hundreds of people, and they were selling big systems. I'm sure I could have gotten in there and 100% commission sales and figured it out or something like that, or I could have gotten into real estate. I had some friends and people in real estate at the time. So I just decided, I was like, okay, I'm gonna get into this field, right? So with that in mind, getting into commission sales or some kind of marketing role or something like that, where I just realized that I wanted to very early on, that's the field I wanted to get. I wanted to be able to make a substantial amount of money, or have a high income producing job. That's been one of my goals, and so that's kind of what I committed to. And that's at that point I realized, like, hey, I don't want to go to college, because I'd had a previous jobs, talked to a lot of people with business degrees and stuff like that, and watched a lot of people online, a lot of people that I'm sure you heard of, Graham Stephan, and a bunch of people that had done like drop shipping businesses and social media marketing agencies and all that kind of stuff. And like it just was very readily apparent that a college degree was not necessary to be successful in these fields, like commission sales or running your own business or anything like that. Not to say that those degrees don't have any value or anything like that, but it simply was a matter of not necessary in order to succeed, and the resources and the learning and everything was already out there on the internet, for free or low cost. And I was like, why do I want to go and spend $30,000-$40,000 a year at this institution when I can just spend all my time right now making money and learning while I go, and be successful that way. I had a lot of confidence in myself, which is super important. I think a lot of people they struggle with their own self-worth and what they can achieve. And I just want to affirm you that you can definitely do it if you put your mind to it. The resources are out there. You can allocate the time. You can, if you want it bad enough, if you have your goals set to where in place with timelines and specific numbers, man, you will figure out how to accomplish your goals if you want them bad enough. And that's kind of where I was like, I want to be successful. I don't want to fail. And at the time I was living with my parents, obviously in high school, so there wasn't like don't have any burdens or anything, which makes the decision easier. But going to college or what you're going to do with your life after high school is a big, massive decision, one of the biggest ones in everyone's life. And because it kind of sets the trajectory for the rest of your life. And so far I've been very happy. I've had friends go to college, and that's my girlfriend's in the medical field or wants to be. One of my best friends is in engineering, and it's awesome. That's great for them. That's the decision that they want to take, and there's really no other way to get into those fields, without going to college. And that's they figured out ways to pay for it, and that's awesome. Good for them. But for me, it just wasn't the decision that I decided to make. And so far, I'm loving it. Been so far, very successful in business, learned a ton, and then now getting into real estate in the last year, and just at the very beginning of my empire, have a ton to learn, a ton of experience to get, but I'm wanting to crush it every single day. So that's pretty much it. That's why I decided not to go to college. And, you know, I hope that helped you make a decision, or you know, you resonated with the story or something like that. Guys, if you did, please hit the like button down below and subscribe for more awesome value. I'm Daniel Kohanowitz, and I'll see you in the next chapter.